Don't let what you've done hinder you. Don't you let where you've been hinder you. Don't let what they say hinder you. Don't you let your past hinder you. You're a woman without limits. You're a woman without limits. There's nothing the enemy can do to stop what God has for you. You're a woman without limits. You're a woman without limits. Woman without limits. Na 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 na. Woman without limits. Woman.
Hello there. It's amazing to have you on the show, The Woman Without Limits. You know, we bring you amazing programs, and today, I want everybody to buckle their safety belts. Invite all your friends because we are in for a great ride. We have on set an amazing, mighty man of valor. His name is Bishop Emeritus Peter Njenga, who holds the record of the longest serving provost at the All Saints Cathedral and is described as the Iron Bishop with 9 lives. Now, the Iron Bishop with 9 lives has many amazing stories. And there is one that he housed 18 women who are fighting for their children and their husbands to be released from detention. And they camped at the All Saints Cathedral for 11 months. And his name, if it was big, it became massive. Everybody in the country was talking about the provost, Njenga himself. And today, we are honored to host him on this Woman Without Limits. That's why we are without limits. And he's going to tell us the story. We want to find out who he is, where he's from the get-go. So buckle your safety belts yet again as you welcome Bishop Njenga. How are you, sir?
I'm all right, Kathy.
Yes.
Allow me, first of all, to congratulate you as Lady Bishop.
Thank you,
and you
sir.
have to train me to call you Lady Bishop because I know you are Kathy. So
I know.
if I call you Kathy, please don't take an offense.
I will not take an offense. You know what? We have come such a mighty long way, and let me just tell the ones who are even watching us right now that you are the one who counseled my husband and I
Yes.
in getting married.
Yes.
You're the one who counseled with us and taught us
Yeah.
the direction and the way.
And you remember you were very young
I
then.
was, in fact, you were asking me now, what are you? You are asking me, and you're such a young girl, how are you going to do this? But you told me you'll hold my hand.
Yes.
And we will walk together.
Thank you.
And you have made sure that we did.
Yes.
We could come to you anytime.
Oh, yes, true.
We have walked with you as a family.
You never had that as you were terribly busy
Yes.
tottering the globe.
Yes.
But that offer still stands.
Yes.
Yes, it does.
It still stands.
Yes.
Good. So, Bishop, let's first start from the very beginning. Who is Bishop? Where were you born? When? You know, maybe we can start from there.
Well, I was born in a place called Gecha in Limuru. And my parents, Ayub Kariuki Muchai and his wife Rahab Duta Wamuchere, those were my parents.
Yeah.
And I was born as the second child in that family.
Of how many?
8.
8 children.
Yes.
So you were the second born.
I'm the second born and the first of the boys.
Yeah.
Yes.
How was your childhood like?
Really very difficult to analyze. Those days, I think, as you know, we in this older generation
Right.
do not quite recollect how we grew up. But I grew in a very, very poor family. My father, went to school only up to standard 3.
Right.
He worked very hard to bring us up. He became a farmer, and he used to make us even farm. He took me to school
Yeah.
in 1942. I was only a young boy.
Yeah.
And I remember girls taking me on their backs and taking me up the hills there
Right.
to Rironi Kikuyu Karinga School,
Okay.
which was demolished in 1952 at the declaration of the emergency in 1952. So I grew in that area. It was in the middle of nowhere up until, I think, 2022, we did having a tarmac actually in
2022?
Yes.
So
that's-
all those years?
Oh yes, people say Kiambu is a very rich county. It
Yeah.
isn't. They ought to ask some of us to know
Who grew
the
up
hardships we have gone through.
Right.
But luckily, and funny enough, we were the first one, the first village after the villages in the emergency. You remember when we created the permanent villages that we saw, and then up to now they have become plots and people are building as towns.
Right.
We were the first village to be supplied with electricity in 1955.
Oh, wow.
Although there was no tarmac there, but this was a fabulous thing for us.
Yeah, because, I mean, there's electricity, but no tarmac.
No tarmac, nothing until 2022.
Right.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Who fought for you to get the electricity at that time?
I really wouldn't know. But there was a DA, as they were called then,
Okay.
called Motiga. I don't know whether you met him. He bought a shamba in Riara Ridge.
Okay.
He was the first district assistant, having come from Makerere.
Right.
And when, at that time, East African Power Lighting Company, I think they decided, I don't know how,
Yeah. To
to just
power.
supply and see whether the villages would actually accommodate and how they will handle that electricity if
Right.
it come into the village.
Right.
But funny enough, they divided our village into 2. And we had been divided, those that were loyal and they lived in a place of their own. That is the one that was supplied with electricity. Ours, which was, we were kafiris.
Yeah, oh, okay. So the one was loyal, the other one was
That's it.
disloyal?
That's it. So our section of that village didn't have electricity then, although it was there.
Yeah.
So we have been hustling all along to plead with them, let's supply it.
Please.
And it came gradually, one after the other, But now we have, the whole village
Has electricity. Does
yes.
and 2022 at least it got some tarmac.
Oh, yes, and it
Okay.
is wonderful.
Okay, okay. So in growing up, what school did you go to?
I went to a school called Rironi Kikuyu Karinga Independent School. And this, as you know, if you remember, if you are that old enough, you remember that there were schools that were established to counter the mission schools, which were only the schools there. So when politics became hot
Yeah.
in the pursuit of Uhuru, the Kikuyu Karinga Independent Schools were created
Right.
along the movement of the Kikuyu Karinga movement, which followed after the KCA, the Kikuyu Central Association.
Right.
So they said, if the Mzungu can create schools like that and they don't take our
So
children,
can we.
why don't we start? And it was started more or less at the same time as Kenya Teachers College Githunguri,
Okay.
where Kenyatta and Bio Koinange eventually became teachers.
So they were counteracting the fact that it's
Exactly.
only Muzungus who could do it.
Yes.
Wow. So you
Yeah.
went to that school. How was it? Like, how was school in the beginning? What did they teach English?
Well, they taught everything. But initially they taught us in Kikuyu.
Oh,
And then we graduated gradually we started learning Swahili. And then we picked in English.
Okay.
And we became so brilliant
In English?
in English and sports that at one time in 1949,
Right.
we were taken to compete with what today
Yeah.
is Nairobi School,
Yeah.
which was Prince of Wales.
Yes.
And we went in their school, having been picked, just a few of us.
Yeah. You were among them.
Yes, I was amongst them.
Come
We
on.
could do different sports and the rest of it, running, the bands, the 10 quite, all those kinds of football.
Yeah.
And we defeated them in every game
sport.
that we did.
What?
But finally we were beaten and thoroughly beaten, scattered all over. We didn't even know how we went home.
Okay, beaten physically.
Yeah, physically.
Because of winning.
Yeah, because they were all white. Huh?
So when you beat them, they beat you physically.
Well, yeah, exactly. And
When-
because we were in their school and
Yeah.
we were only about 22 of us, so we were completely outnumbered.
So they beat you and
Oh,
sent you
We
off.
were beaten thoroughly, scattered like potatoes,
Like-
and-
Oh my God.
wa-
Were you scared?
Oh, completely, At that time, you were still scared.
Yeah.
If a Muzungu beat you, you didn't respond.
So they beat you mercilessly
Yeah,
as you
exactly.
just stood.
Yeah. So
Jesus.
we ran, and
Oh, I'm so sorry.
it was my foot. Help me now.
I'm so sorry. Did you report it to your parents or your teachers?
What would you do? Our teachers were there, but what could they do?
They were just watching.
They were just watching. What could they do? They were equally beaten and scattered,
Because how can you bring these kids to embarrass us by
Yeah,
winning?
exactly.
Oh my goodness. So what lesson did you learn from that?
Well, painfully, we learned that I had already known that Muzungu was never beaten. So even if he abused you, you just kept quiet. And I said to myself,
Yeah.
maybe one day, and I said that day, maybe one day, if we can beat them in sports and in their own school, then maybe one day we will beat them politically, economically, but
Maybe we can get free.
yeah, maybe we will get free and one day we will walk as they are walking and perhaps go to their school, beat them in the games and then beat them physically.
In life.
Yeah, in life.
Oh,
We didn't know it could happen.
right.
Not at all.
Right.
Not at all.
And the Mau Maus, were they already there fighting for freedom?
Yeah, of course. It was very tight then. Oh, it was very tight. Yeah. But it was considered a prestigious thing for a school to be picked to compete with a Muzungu school. Oh,
It was high.
Wow.
Wow.
Incredibly unbelievable.
Yeah.
But then the fame spread all over the Kikuyu Karenga schools.
Of what they
that
did?
An African school,
Yeah.
Kikuyu Karenga school, could beat a Muzungu school.
So you
And
became popular.
our teacher then was somebody called Joseph Karunga Koinange,
Right.
who later became the dean of Kenyatta University.
Oh.
No, he was dean of students in Nairobi University and then went to Kenyatta. I think he's the one who established KU and saw it transition into a college.
Yeah.
It was just Kenyatta University College. After that, he was given a scholarship to go to Loughborough
What?
to learn sports. Oh yes, and he came
And
back
he
years later. He didn't come back because of the emergency. He came back years later, of course.
Right.
Yeah, but truly, he kept a record.
So there were amazing people, amazing young men.
Oh, yes.
That just needed a chance.
Yeah, exactly.
To be given a chance for education,
Exactly.
to better their lives.
Exactly. And
So-
one thing you must remember, Kathy,
Yeah.
those boys didn't think we could compete them in English. They thought we were just taught Kikuyu.
Kikuyu. and nothing else. You
Nothing
could
else.
you cannot progress.
So when we are in the field
Yeah.
competing and our colleagues are shouting us and encouraging us, these people are feeling jealousy. And they
Because you're speaking English
Yeah,
when you're-
exactly.
when you're telling people pass the ball,
Yes, and
you're
then
doing
they
it in
know.
English, and they're like, wait a
Exactly.
minute.
They couldn't think that there was any other school because it was unheard of. Even the instruction itself was not there.
They thought you were just villagers.
Exactly.
So here you are, you've won that. Has it like given you an encouragement? Like, has it lifted and boosted your ego? Like, we can do this in life?
I think it did.
Yeah.
I knew, yes.
Okay.
The sky is the limit.
Wow.
And I knew that anybody
Can
can
make
get
it.
to any level.
So you've moved now from there.
Yes.
Are you going to go to secondary?
Yes.
Where?
I did my CAPE in 1951
Wow.
and scored high scores to go to Alliance, which was the dream of every child. And mind you, having experienced that history,
Yeah.
you looked forward to going to Alliance.
To show them
Yeah,
I'm here as well.
exactly,
Yes.
yeah.
The English you're speaking, me too,
Yeah,
I can speak
exactly,
it.
Exactly. Yeah.
The books you're reading, I can read them too.
Oh, yes. And you see what our teachers
This is
used
too
to
nice.
do
Yeah.
is to go and befriend the trained teachers because we didn't have trained teachers at all.
Okay.
So they went and befriended these other teachers in these other schools,
Yeah.
government schools and missionary schools, to get the books.
Oh, to learn
And the
something.
syllabus, stealing
Yeah.
the syllabus. So it used to be sneaked, and therefore we were trained how
Yeah.
to copy it very, very quickly.
Wow.
So that's how
So you could learn the same things
Yes,
as
exactly.
well.
But
Yeah.
then when I went to Alliance High School, and my father took me there,
But hold
proudly
on.
assuming.
But hold on, Bishop.
Yeah.
Even you, I need to clap for you. You went to Alliance.
I did.
Hey,
You need to wait and hear.
hey.
I went to there. My father took me there.
Yeah, proudly.
He looked, yes, and my name was there. But it has been struck out.
What do you mean?
How do you go to a missionary school if you are in the opposition schools? It's just like today. There wasn't anything like you're talking about the coalition and the rest of it. If you belonged to the Kikuyu Central Association, you are nobody.
There is no way you could go to Alliance.
There is
What?
no way. Yes, and that was not the only thing.
What?
Well, we went back. My father told me, okay, I see you could try. You have tried.
Yeah.
But because they have rejected you, I want you to repeat. But the stupid thing he did is to make me repeat in the same school.
So obviously,
Yeah.
the answer is the same.
Yes, it's the same. And I did my CAP in 1952. I repeated.
And passed it, of
And
course.
again passed.
And was called.
And went to the same school, 1953. And the same story. You had qualified my boy, but you are struck out. And you see the church elders, and you must get this. People don't know it. Because the church was more or less the collaborator with the colonialists. So the church elders from your village
Yeah.
are the ones who dictated who are the children that were taken in that school, because it was a missionary school.
Oh. So if they didn't speak on your behalf, you were done.
Yeah.
They had to speak on your behalf.
Yes. And they
Oh
said, si huyu ni mtoto wa Mau, strike his name. There it was. So, and that
Rejected.
was the end of my education career.
Aterere, now I've even switched. What? What? Like they scratched it and that was it?
Twice.
So what did that do to you as a person?
You need to tell me how you feel.
No, that will crush you.
Yeah.
That will crush anyone.
Yeah, and by the time I was receiving this news, it is 52, our school, all those schools had been dismantled on 20th of October, 52.
You're a young
Yes,
man.
yeah, a young man. My father is detained. I did see him for 10 years. So even when I'm doing this, my second CAP, he's not there. And I did see him until 10 years later.
What?
Yes.
Are you with your mother?
Yes, only.
You're only with
And
your
I
mother with
became
the
the
8 children.
breadwinner.
So stop. So hold on, Bishop. This is too interesting. Oh my God, I hope you have your safety belts and you're calling on your friends because, man. So tell me, so your father is not there. You're just with your mother with 8 siblings.
Yes.
And they have rejected you.
Yes.
Tell me the feeling of that rejection.
Oh,
Did it deflate you?
It's painful, Kathy. But that time, the situation is so tense. Life has become totally stagnant. You
Nothing
didn't
is
do
moving.
anything, you didn't move anywhere, you didn't do nothing, you didn't think, you didn't hope, you didn't even dream. Because in emergency, you knew. And the song that was being perpetuated through the helicopters up there is that those Mau Mau leaders would never come back. Well, now, when you hear that and your father
Is away.
is among those, can you see? And here you are struggling to
They
keep
can't
my
accept
mother.
you, so
Well,
you're struggling with rejection.
That's it, yeah.
Your mother is, you can see she's struggling
That's
with all
it.
the children.
That's it.
Your father is absent.
Exactly.
And then now, on top of that, you became the breadwinner?
Yes.
So what did you do?
But the good thing is
Yeah.
that at that particular time in 1953, a small window was opened for students from Kenya to go to Uganda. Private schools, not the normal school.
Right.
So, and I have no money, I can have no guardian. My mother couldn't raise anything. So she told me, why don't you go to so and so, ask him if he's taking his son to pay for you, we will repay that. And so I went to a particular mzee there. Yeah. He said, okay, you can go. So I was in Uganda, were called Luwule High School.
Right.
But the good news is,
Yeah. I want the good news.
January to April, come April, we were all repatriated from Uganda because we are Abachukuyu.
So just 4 months.
It is even for it's free. And
Now
that,
you already brought a smile to my face, and again now I'm deflated. What?
Quiet.
For 3 months, and then
yes,
They-
that was the end.
so you came back.
I came back. Now the country is in a horrible
Bishop.
situation there.
Yeah.
The strife, the poverty, the discrimination, the hard labor that you did. You
Yeah.
know, chimbering the mitaros, you know, because we used to chimber mitaros simply because of soil erosion.
So you were digging ditches.
So every morning you woke up
Yeah.
to go and do those manual work,
Right.
do the labor work that there is. Afternoon, go to the baraza because the chief had to address you.
In the baraza.
Yes.
So
Every day.
would they pay you for digging?
Who? Who are you to be paid? Would
So-
you even ask for any payment?
Bishop. So you are digging, then going empty.
Completely.
Jesus.
Does anybody care?
So how were you able to fend for your family? Because you
Well-
said you were working to feed them.
Kathy, when you see some of us my age, what they have gone through, it's unthinkable. How we lived, only God knows. I can't even tell you. Those particularly, those 5 years, 53 to 57, 58 there,
Yeah.
nobody knows how we lived.
It was
Nobody would be
horrendous.
able actually to analyze how life was. It is very difficult, to say the least. And you are hunted day and night, and people are being shot at sight.
And you knew it, you saw it.
Yeah, of course. And I was one of them. One day I was lined up. We were 7 boys, 7 of us taken to, I don't know whether you have been to a institution that is there in radio called St. Julian's. We were found in one of the thingiras with girls, and then we were just taken out there, 7 of us. Well, we were noticed, to say the least. But we were directed to that place, 7 of us.
Yeah.
And we were lined up for shooting. And the first boy was shot, who was the leader. And we saw him shot, fall, and that's it. And a Muse who came from our area,
Yeah.
that day,
Yeah.
that time,
Yeah.
the father of the Archbishop Manasseh Kuria and his Mudoniwe, the two of them were the only two people in our area given the shotgun. I don't know whether you found the Gotora. We used to call it Gotora. Shotgun.
The shotgun.
Yeah.
They were given to shoot.
To defend.
Or to defend.
To defend the village.
Right.
So one of these Muse, well, the other Muse,
Yeah.
became wild and said, no. Oh, you will not kill these.
Yeah.
And he got torn his gun twice.
Buckled it, yeah.
And these tiny little boys
Yeah.
from Britain who were school leavers, because they were the Johnnies. So, and I think they thought this man could be mad, could shoot
He
us.
may shoot us.
So they eventually said, okay, come and have your kwenda. And you know, we are being told kwenda, and it is dark. You don't know. And it is about 3 miles to our village.
Right.
You now go into the bush, trying to find how you get home, never knowing whether in the way you will meet the terrorists or the Mau Mau soldiers or the Askaris or whoever. You don't know.
You have no idea what you're going to meet.
No idea. And
So
you
you're
go
just
through
scattering for dear life.
Yeah, exactly. You know, you're not two of you.
Yeah.
You just go on your
everyone
own.
went to
Oh,
their...
yes, everyone went their way. Find your own way.
Yeah. So you are literally on your own.
Exactly.
Wherever, if you scatter enough to save your life, that's okay.
That's okay.
Otherwise
If you die, that's okay. If you don't get home, that's your business.
Right. So, oh my
Now,
gosh.
this story could be interesting actually, but to read it,
Sad.
you can see it's very sad.
It's very, very sad. But you see how
And the
God
following
protected
day,
you
you
because
must
you could
wake
not
up
die
to go to the kawaida job.
of digging
Yes.
trenches.
Yes.
And then you're not even getting paid. So tell me, Bishop, so you escaped that death.
Yes.
And then after that, are you going to go back to education, or it's done?
No.
It's done. It's a wrap.
I told you that was the end of my education
So
career.
that was it.
That
now.
was it.
So what are you thinking about as a young man? Are you thinking you're just gonna maybe marry and
No,
and
frustration, despair, and hate. In the strongest term of the word.
hate?
You hate the situation, you hate the people. And not only that, you are seeing them take people's property. You know, if you had a sheep or goats,
yeah.
they were taken by the guards.
They would just come and take
Yeah, of course.
and walk with them like they belong to them.
Of course. Girls taken, raped, nobody cares,
Young ladies.
Yes, what do you do?
Oh my goodness.
What do you do?
Woman. Woman.
So there you are, Bishop. Tell me when now there is at least some semblance of light coming up your way.
Interesting. Around 1956, 57, and you will see this when you read my book, my autobiography, 56, 57, there came a movement, two movements
Right.
from Britain.
Yeah.
One was called the moral rearmament. The other one was called, there were two, YMYWCA. And the Wazungus came, and you know where the YMCA is.
Yes, I know where it is.
That was the center where they operated from. So they used to go to all the villages.
Yeah.
Now the villages were scattered all over. And you
'Cause
were
now
all
everyone
bumped
is
together in the
scared.
village. You were never allowed to get there unless you had a permit.
Oh,
And where do you get a permit? Never.
so
So-
you stayed in the village.
Yes, oh yes. So life
everybody-
was totally dormant,
Yeah.
sterile.
Yeah.
So, 56, 57, when that rehabilitation came, and they came to a Presbyterian church, which was at Gecha, small, tiny little church,
Yeah.
and there was the only space left. So people my age and others began getting together. They were brought together as a group to play games, boys and girls.
Yeah.
Those frustrated ones.
Yes.
Discuss Bible themes and the rest of it, and Bible studies.
Yeah.
So when I had there's a group there,
Yeah.
and remember, I could beat the Mzungu boys.
Right.
And I said, I must see who those are.
Who that group is, I want to join.
So I joined there.
Right.
Through this enthusiasm. And I didn't know that that was going to be the trap. That's how I got trapped into the church.
Wow. So tell me what you mean trapped into the church. Like, you started...
You see a group there and it's doing Bible study. When
Yeah.
did you do Bible study last? When did you interact with people
You
last?
probably never did. Like
Yeah,
a
yeah.
long time ago.
From
and probably not
53.
even Bible study.
That's it. And
Yeah.
from 1953,
Right.
not two people were allowed to be seen together.
Okay, hold on. What do you mean?
Oh,
You
yeah.
couldn't walk two people?
That was an anathema.
A crime?
Of course, it was a big crime.
You had to walk
and you
alone?
remember, it was just removed not so long time ago by Moi.
You had to walk alone.
You didn't walk two people that time, Kathy, ever.
Jesus.
Because you'll be grouped, they are discussing, they are authoring, they are planning. And mind you, the murders that are going on every day, literally every day, every morning. This is what you hear over the radio now.
Yeah.
There was a radio that used to tell us whatever happened, how many terrorists were killed. It didn't say any Muzungu killed.
Only the blacks.
Only the terrorists.
This terrorist. This
Yes.
one died. This one.
Yes.
So hold on. You walked alone.
Yes.
Like no two people could be together at the same time.
Never.
Jeez, how evil is that? Because you see, that is isolation.
It is.
And that is mental health issues right there.
It is.
Wow.
After this forced labor,
Yeah.
after the mental fatigue, then you are all alone. You sleep. And you remember those villages, do you remember they were round houses like this?
The huts.
All of the huts.
Yeah.
And they were made in such a way that if you threw an arrow through the window, it will go through all of them, that light. They assembled like one another, like the donkeys of Limuru.
What? So the murders were happening every day, and
Yeah.
you knew so and so has gone.
Of course. Of course.
Were you thinking anytime it may be you?
I don't think, why? You budgeted for it. It could be you anytime. Because your friends, you hear the ones you were with yesterday, they were killed where they were, and they will be accused. The torture that used to go there.
Was ridiculous.
Oh, yes. The mass graves of Deya. I don't know whether you have been to Deya, because many people don't know this. But in Deya, all the people that were killed around the Limuru location, they were all taken into lorries, and there were not many. There were bodies where, and we were called to put them, all these bodies then, and they were driven to Deya, and then, these trucks, they poured them into a hole. Tractor came,
mass
yes,
graves.
yes.
And just bury them
And that
there.
is the end, yeah.
So here you are now, you've joined this group, and they are talking about Bible study, they are doing church.
Yes.
So tell us how it started and how far it went.
One of them there, I think two of them who were close to me, after a few months told me, now you see, we have never been baptized. And because we cannot stay in this group without being baptized, I think we better look for church to be baptized.
Yeah.
It's like, I said, okay, let's go.
Like whatever.
Yeah, that's it. And we were taken to one of the church elders.
Yeah.
And he could see the three of us. The leader, he said, I know your father. I know he was the leader of this move, Mau, so okay.
Yeah.
But I know you, I can baptize you.
Right.
I can teach you catechism to be baptized.
He told you that.
No, he told the first one.
Right.
Listen, Kathy.
Yeah.
He told him that. The second one, he said, oh, I know your father. He used to live in Nairobi. His father was a train driver.
Right.
So he stayed in Nairobi because those who were in Nairobi never used to come to the village. You must remember this.
Right.
You never went to Nairobi. Those who were there never came. So his father, he said, okay, yeah, I know you. I know you may be baptized when you are very young. I can teach you catechist.
Right.
But you, Muchai, I was Muchai until 1952 when I tell you I was rejected at Alliance. January 153, that's when I became Peter Njenga.
Yeah.
Before then I wasn't. So he said, well, you, Muchai, unless you tell me how you took the oath, I cannot teach you catechist. Go.
What? Rejected you again?
Well, of course.
What are you talking about?
And you know, the man is my grandfather.
So now you're paying for your grandfather's error?
No, he's my grandfather.
The one calling?
Yeah, the one telling me
The one taking people places?
Yeah.
And he says to you, no?
Yeah. He is the one who is supposed to teach us catechism. He told me, I can't teach you unless you confess. No, I said, me, honestly, although my father was a leader in that movement, the only oath that I was given in 1946 was a sign of the cross that was put on me.
Right.
That's all I know about.
By who? Who put you that sign?
By the leaders of the Mau Mau.
Okay, yeah.
Because you are a child of Mau Mau leaders. So
right. So they put a cross on you.
So somebody telling me to confess to him about the oath. For me, I thought it is ridiculous. Yeah. And again, how do you discriminate me? Just me? Yeah. Why me?
Yeah.
And you are my grandfather. He used to flock there into his home freely because...
And he just tells you point blank.
That's it. And that was it.
So what happened?
You
left?
I told them, okay, you two, you can go back there if you want, but I will never go there. So, because they knew without me, again, they didn't want to go.
Okay.
The following, I think within a week or something, they came, the same leader came and said, look, I have found another church. There's like a small church in that village called Kabuku, next to St. Paul's Theological College.
Right.
Why don't we go there and try there?
Yeah.
So we go, we meet this old man, Bishop Manasseh's courier father.
Wow.
He's a catechist.
Yeah.
Still, he has his gun.
That's a good one. He still has his gun.
Yeah. But he happily says, okay, welcome.
Yeah.
Vijana, karibuni.
Yeah.
And within a short time, he teaches us catechist.
Oh.
He actually teaches
So for the sake of somebody who doesn't even understand, tell us what catechist is.
That is the instructions that you were given for a year. It used to be a year before you are baptized. Okay. And in the Anglican system, there were about 4 classes.
Right.
First of all, there was a year you were called a vicaria, just a listener.
Yeah.
Number 2, they were called adomagi. Number 3,
learners.
The learners.
Yeah.
Number 3 is the confirmation. So unless you went through those 3 years, and strictly they were 3 years.
Yeah. 3 years. So each was a year.
Yes, that's it.
Wow.
But for us, you know, this old man,
Yeah.
that time they were looking for young people because the young people are disoriented. They are nowhere to be seen. In the church, there isn't. So we were just like a God-sent bunch.
Yeah. The old man was like,
that's it. And he said, Karibu, quickly. And within 2 months, they had organized. That time, there was a training in Kigali, Embu. So 57, January.
Right.
We were baptized on January 26th, which is a Sunday. Monday, we were shipped to Nairobi. We were taken there by one of the elders. Then a train to Sagana, and then we went to Embu, Kigali. What? We trained there for 4 months.
In Kigali?
Yes, Embu. We trained there for 4 months
Yeah.
as evangelists, as a catechist. Now you hear,
Right.
you hear me talk about evangelists because it's something I love.
Wow.
Something instilled in my blood, my brain, because I think it's the best thing for the church.
From the time
and
you
because
were a young man.
you have now become a lady bishop.
Yes, yes, sir.
Please make sure that you make this a part of your program because it's the best.
Yes. The evangelism.
These evangelists are trained
Yeah.
to go to homes, visit. And you know, when we become pastors and bishops here,
Yeah.
we become so elevated and high that you are highly unlikely to go and visit in the home. And if you ask these people, actually, when did they see a bishop in their home? Tell me.
Yeah. Long
Ask them.
time. Yeah. Right.
But the evangelist, that is his work.
To
And I was
visit-
trained myself to go work with the women if I found them in the shamba.
Right. Oh.
Work with them, and I have no qualms about it. I will work with them. We will discuss. If it is in the pubs, I will go and sit with them, listening to
Yeah.
them.
Right.
So for 4 months, I was trained there. At that time, it was the last course that was being phased out.
Yeah. Of evangelism?
Yes,
Ah.
it was phased out.
Right.
We were trained with the first class of those who were taken that time,
Yeah.
like us,
Right.
to be the teacher training college.
Oh. So it didn't continue like after
No,
that?
it did. After us, it did continue. It became a teacher training college.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So how is your journey now from that? Is that
Oh.
when you joined the church?
That's when I joined the church.
Yeah.
That is where the Mungu found me, because I was never saved. I was bitter, and I hated the Mzungu, and I hated the church, and I hated the home guards. You know,
It's because of the
But that-
experiences of your
and
past.
that's it. But,
yeah.
but then, with all my problems, I found the Lord there.
Oh, tell us how you found him.
It is interesting, Kanye. I don't know whether
It is no. Let me tell you, the way you tell a story, nobody does it like you.
You know,
Yeah.
I was a heavy smoker then.
Okay.
And we used to live in one huge round house.
Yeah.
So I waited until all these others, we are about 8 of us.
Right.
So I would wait until the night, and I would just light my cigar. And you know the way it smells.
Yes.
I used to torture those guys
Yeah. Because
just to make them feel bad.
yeah.
Because they are telling me how they were saved, how
Yeah.
they found the Lord. I thought it was just Moshanganga. And I did like it. You know. Yeah. And the best way to punish them
Yes,
was really to
smoke
take this man. Yeah, that's
in
it.
their face.
And the whole house would and you enjoy, you laugh when they are coughing. On the night. It was interesting. But one morning, funny enough,
Right.
before we went to class, we went for about 15 minutes, and I felt a conviction. So I asked the teacher, can I go out? Then I quietly went into the latrine pit, locked myself there. And I heard a voice ask me, now, Peter, where can you hide that I will not see you? That is in Jeremiah. And I began looking around. Who is he?
Who is talking to you?
Like Saul.
Yeah.
Who are you, Lord? You know, because I didn't know.
Yeah.
I had never had that conviction. So I thought I'll quickly smoke my packet until it is over.
Before going back.
But then I put 3 of them in my mouth.
3?
And then very quickly, the voice really became so loud. I took them very quickly, and then once I threw them into the pit and went back. I really was crying.
Right.
Because that was, you know, the Jerusalem event?
Yeah.
I really saw God face to face.
Wow. Wow. So you threw all the cigarettes?
That's it.
Yeah.
And I could see my life laid on the table. and I could read all my sins.
When you went back
Yes.
to that.
Yes. And I really was crying profusely. I was pained. I was pained. Now, I forgot about the evils that people had done to me. But listen,
Yeah.
after I had the conviction and I knew now Jesus had got me because I told me, Lord, I come to you now.
Oh.
Take me as I am.
Yes.
And when I went in, I couldn't even hear what the teacher was teaching.
You were
The
just
whole
weeping.
The whole period.
Yeah.
I was listening but still crying.
Did they see you crying?
No, they knew I was crushed. And because I was a very talkative and naughty character, I would push words as we were and comment when we were being taught. And answering all the questions the teacher asked, because I think I had them, you know. After we went out,
Yeah.
I explained, I called them together. I said, men, please come. I asked them, please forgive me.
Oh.
I have tortured you enough.
Oh.
Then I explained what had happened. And then there it was. Well, now wait for this. When I felt the conviction that now the Lord has forgiven me and I belong now to, you know, that time the Tukutendereza is what was there.
Okay.
I asked God, if you save me, Lord, and you say you have saved me, when I go back home,
Yeah.
and I meet so and so and so, because I saw them as Christians, I thought they were.
Yeah.
Little did I know that not everybody who went to church was a
Christian.
brother.
Yes.
I asked God, will I really be able to hug each other? Because you know that was
The
Tukutendereza
Tukutendereza move was
signature.
for- yeah.
I asked God, shall I really do it
Yeah.
with so and so?
Right.
It took me 3 weeks to recover from that. But then God gave me the healing.
Right.
He asked me, are they the ones who forgives or is it me? Then I said, if it is you, Lord,
Yeah.
take it upon
Yeah.
yourself.
It's okay.
And I will not even raise a question with them. I will not even have a case with them.
Yeah.
Even those who had mistreated me, because our house had been burnt when my father was detained. Our everything, our goats and sheep were all taken. Everything in our house was destroyed by fire, including even some of my ornaments that I had worn in the school, you know, which I cherished.
Yeah.
Because I was very good. You know the way we used to story tell and debate.
Right.
I was very, very good at that.
At storytelling.
Yes.
You still are.
Oh.
You're amazing.
Yeah. So I had won a lot of accolades, but then
they burnt all of them.
They were all burnt.
So you were wondering, how will I even forgive those people?
Yes.
Yeah.
But God,
Did he
when
help
God assured me that it was his business, not mine, I left it.
Were you able to forgive them?
I was able to forgive them. So the rest is history.
Right.
Yeah.
So now you're now in church.
Yes.
When do you become this bishop? And okay, first and foremost, when do you get married?
Later.
Later on in life?
Later after that.
Yeah.
Because I had to wait for my father to come. I thought I would
after
wait
the
for
10
him.
years.
Yes.
Yeah. How was the reunion? Let's start there.
Well, then that's the sore bit of it. Because when I wrote to my father, because I had to write and tell him, now I have been saved. I have seen the Lord. You know, he stopped communication with me completely. Any communication, because they wrote letters we took about 3 months before you get them.
Right.
He wrote to my brother who follows me.
Yeah. What?
So we became bitter enemies because he knew I had crucified him.
Yeah.
The betrayal.
By being born again, by accepting Christ. So to him, that was, you had betrayed him.
That was a sellout.
Oh, so no letters from him?
Not at all. Even when he came, after those 10 years and he came, And, you know, they were the fine ones.
Yeah.
By the way,
Yeah.
he was one. Have you read about the Holla 11? Holla 11
No.
are the detainees who
Yeah.
were in Holla. My father tells me there were 13 of them.
Right.
They were, one day they were crushed and beaten thoroughly.
And your dad was among them?
Yes, he was.
Okay.
And they were told, tomorrow you'll have to come dig a hole, a grave for yourself.
Hey.
And the 11, actually when they dug them, they stood, each one on his own grave, and they were shot, and then they fell in, and they were all
Into their
buried.
graves?
Yes, the whole 11.
That they dug?
Yeah, that's a story. He tells me if they had gone to 12 or 13, he would have been either the 12th or the 13th, because they were 13.
So they dug 11?
But he wasn't able to dig his, because when they were beaten the previous night, they broke his 3 ribs. So there was no way he could be able to work.
He was
and
too
that
sick.
other person was, he tells me, I think they had broken his leg.
Yeah.
So those two, or when the others are being shot and buried, they are still in the house, yearning, crying, you know, groaning in pain, and the rest of it, yes.
Do they have an idea that they were supposed to die?
Well, they knew.
They knew.
Of course they knew. They were told, you are digging your own grave. Why do you think they were being killed in secret? Yes, they were
So
told.
the 11 were shot dead, and your father knew.
And the graves are there today. So when my father came, this is what he told me. After that, I wouldn't have known.
Yeah.
So he told me
The story.
If they went to 12 or 13, I would have been one of those. But I couldn't stand even lift up the shovel.
He was too sick.
Yeah, because your ribs are broken.
Yeah.
They were broken like the previous night. And
Right.
you know the pain.
Of course. That must have been too much.
Yeah,
So
but even when he came, he
Yeah.
was still very bitter
towards you.
with me,
Yeah.
towards me, and
Yeah.
hostile. That even in my wedding, which I did after that, he was actually within Getcha. He didn't come.
For your wedding.
He wouldn't come. I gave him my money because he had told me, we negotiated with him. I told him, because I've been waiting for you.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to go to Croatia because it is your business.
Yeah.
He said, I wouldn't go until you give me 1,000 shillings. You know, 1,000 shillings, that was a lot.
It was like $1 million.
Yeah,
at that
like
time.
$1 million. And I was only being paid 100 shillings as an evangelist. How do you acquire
Right.
1,000?
Where do you get 1,000?
Yeah, and I tried what I could. I had a goat that
Yeah.
I had bought one day in a church auction, and it had a young one.
Yeah.
I sold that, I think, for 60 shillings. I gave it to him.
Oh.
And he ate all that and didn't even go to
He didn't even
Croatia.
come.
He didn't even take to the Russia yet.
Oh.
just to make me feel the pain.
Yeah.
By that time, I had been taken over to Chachame
Yeah.
in 1960, 62, and I did a study, Jogo Road,
Right.
and I was trained properly as an evangelist.
As an evangelist, so they
Yes.
trained you properly.
Yes.
So that's the season that now you
that
want to
is
meet
how-
your wife
yes,
and get
yes,
married.
That's it.
Uh-huh.
That's how then I developed from there. You needed to see how I used to go to Kawangware. My first posting was at Kawangware.
Right.
And Kawangware,
By now with church.
yes, with church, with
With-
the
with-
Anglican
with-
church.
with the Anglican
with
church.
the Anglican church, yes.
Uh-huh.
We were trained as the Anglican evangelist.
Right.
They have now called it the Carlisle College.
Yeah.
But it was a church army training. It was an Anglican wing of evangelists.
Okay.
They still trained them, but not us. They used to train us. I think
Right.
they have compromised with the current world. They just want to train bishops and pastors and the rest of it.
But the evangelists are so important.
yeah,
I know
yes,
the evangelists
yes.
are critical. So now you are posted?
Yes.
You started winning souls or what?
Oh yes, I became thorough in my preaching, and
Yeah.
I loved visiting homes.
Oh.
Yeah.
So evangelists at that time, because now the evangelists we have right now, they do crusades and win many people, like in the fields.
It is interesting. We
Yeah.
used to start on Jogo Road. You know Jogo Road?
Yes.
Every Sunday evening,
Yeah.
we did a service that we call the fishing service.
Okay.
You stood on the road when people are going. You remember Nairobi that time had gone to Hamza Road.
Uh-huh.
So at Jogo Road,
Yeah.
near Bahati,
Right.
it's only a few. So people used to walk. You had to convince people and
Yeah.
fill the church. So we
Wow.
went outside the road,
Wow.
Jogo Road.
Yeah.
Then convince people,
Yeah.
and you know how you convince a person who is going home.
Who is going home to
But
start
it-
telling them about Christ.
But
yeah.
I can tell you, Kade, that was the best training anybody
Wow.
could have given me.
Wow. Wow. So you enjoyed it.
I enjoyed and loved it.
Yeah.
It is difficult though.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's not easy.
It's difficult.
Of course.
I used to
yeah.
be, during the training in the morning, Sunday, every Sunday morning and Sunday afternoon.
Right.
Before I came to that service, I used to be driven by a Mzungu who came all the way from Karen, Kitisuru.
Yeah. To
They used
pick you.
To pick me, go and preach to their servants.
May the good Lord bless you. We'll see you here next week, same time, on this channel. So now the entire nation is speaking, and they are saying that Bishop was involved in that.
Yeah, he has killed his wife.
Tell me about that.
She died in October. And May, the following year, you remember,
Yeah.
there is this event called the Moroto, when a whole village in the bus airport is crushed.
Yes.
And then I speak very strongly
Yeah.
because I told Moi, you have killed people. And then it is brought back because in retrospect, and they say, okay, Mzee, Njenga anasema uliua watu, leave it to us. We will say he killed his wife.